Hey, it's podcast night. What the hell are you calling us for?
Say hello to Alton.
By the way,
And there's Derek.
How's Sparkle City?
By the way, we're going to be on the Ellen DeGeneres show, so...
That's a lie.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm just fooling.
You're booling. Have you met any famous people today?
Just Penelope Cruz and Kamala Harris, that's it.
Oh, okay.
Commoners. All right, everybody, and welcome back to episode 4 of the Bourbon Boys. I'm here with my good friends Kurt.
Hey there.
I got Alton.
Hello, Derek.
And we got Krat.
Hey, dude, what's going on?
Excellent. I'm staring at a table of some pretty good-looking bourbon this week. We've got Eagle Rare, Yellowstone, and Longbranch. And there's kind of an outdoors theme here. I'm threading together here. It's kind of a outdoors, woods, maybe go so far as national parks.
Spruce.
You're feeling spruce.
Little pine.
I'm sensing
Love it.
pine.
I love it.
Campfire smoke.
Perfect. So, before we jump into it, has everyone been to a national park?
I have.
Kurt, where have you been?
Yeah, I've been to a couple actually. Grand Tetons, Glacier National Park, Yellowstone, somewhere in Utah. I don't know what it's called.
Bryce?
Smoke. I don't know if it was Bryce. It was the.
There was a cult in Utah.
That must have been it.
Yeah.
That must have been it. Yeah. No, those
Alright.
were the major ones, I think.
And something, Grand
Smoky.
Tetons, and something special happened for you in Grand Teton?
No, it was Glacier National
Glacier.
Park.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Got married. No, I didn't get married. I got engaged to my bride.
There you go.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Iceberg Lake. Special place.
Very nice.
Great
Yeah.
memory.
Damn,
Yeah.
you got ridiculously lucky with that one.
I know.
She is a
know.
keeper.
Must have been the setting.
Or the 5-mile hike into the mountains, which was like, listen,
I don't think I can get out of
say
here.
yes or you're on your own.
It's a solo.
I love it. I love it. Still together. Alton, where have you been?
Let's see. I went to Everglades down in Florida when I was a kid, and we recently were at Acadia.
Nice.
Little family
Love Acadia.
vacay. Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
beautiful.
Beautiful. And Acadia has, if I remember correctly,
Yeah.
and I did double check this,
Oh, yeah.
the shape of the islands
Yep.
that are in the harbor are porcupine
Oh,
islands.
my God. It's not platypus.
It's not platypus.
I thought it was
You thought it was platypus.
Porcupine Islands.
Were you guys there all together? Because if this is another one of those things,
we may have been, Kurt.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I don't know.
David, where have you been?
I've been to a lot.
Okay.
I've been to a lot. I pretty lucky. I think I went through the list: Yellowstone, Yosemite, Grand Canyon, Acadia, Grand Teton, Glacier, and Bryce.
wow.
Dang.
Yeah.
Did you get engaged in any of those? All of them? None of them?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
Did you get lost in any of them?
Yeah. No.
No.
Wow.
Impressive.
Achievement.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And you, Derek, where have you been?
I've been to Acadia and Smoky Mountain
National Park.
National Park.
Oh, I've been there. I forgot
Yeah.
about that. Yeah, Great
Yeah,
Smoky
yeah.
Mountains.
Yep.
Yeah.
Went there with the kids.
Did you name that one, Krat? You've been to Smoky
I
Mountains
have.
for sure.
I need to add that to my list.
Okay, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we've all
So you've
been
been
there.
over there?
Been there a couple
Yep.
times.
Now,
Yeah.
had you
Yep.
been there, Derek, before you moved south?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we were still living just outside of Boston. We were there on a family trip
Yeah.
with Destination Imagination, one of the school programs. And our son Taylor made it to the national finals. So that
Cool.
was down in Knoxville. So we
Oh,
drove
that's cool.
through and explored and did a little hiking and saw some
Very cool.
waterfalls. It was a good time.
Very
That's
cool.
awesome.
Yep.
Now, the camp you went to as a young buck,
Yes.
was that in Acadia? Or
That was
it,
an hour north of Acadia.
it was north of
Yes.
Acadia. Okay.
So it was about 45 minutes south of Canada.
Yeah. Have you guys heard
Wow.
this? Derek got dropped off every summer to a
Yeah.
remote island.
We will cover that in
It's a very cool
different
story.
episode.
Yeah, I know.
for
It's
sure.
like, yeah,
It's a
that's
very
like,
cool
We
story.
talked about that for a long
yeah,
time.
I think there's a movie about that.
I'd
Yep.
still be in therapy if
Was
I
it?
had that.
I'm pretty sure that was rehab.
I love it. I love it.
he was clean coming out
At
of
the
there.
age of 11.
That's right. Got to
With
start
all this
early.
bourbon in front of us, I might be going back.
There you
for
go.
sure.
There you go.
All right. So do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
So
What are we going to try first?
We're going to try Eagle Rare. So Kind of an interesting one, but not as deep of a history of some of the others that we've talked about. So originated in 1975. So I guess relatively speaking, it's fairly early in its age. Two forms, right? There's a 10-year and a 17-year. And it was originally started by Charles Beam as part of Seagram's. And in 1989, the Sazerac family bought it and have since then owned it. So it was originally a small batch. It's a non-single. Well, the original, I'm sorry, was 101 proof non-single barrel, and today it's now 90 proof single barrel. It's again, not a lot of history there, but kind of transferred ownership from 1975 to 1989. And now owned by the Sazerac family and is distilled by Buffalo Trace. So
Nice, another buffalo.
yeah, another Buffalo.
We actually sampled Eagle Rare when we were there.
Did we?
Yeah,
Being the three of you. So just to be clear.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
Yeah, I know where you're going, Krat.
What
Keep
did
going.
what did we try?
We tried Eagle Rare.
Yeah.
They had the it was the cream, the bourbon cream.
Oh, bourbon cream.
Yep.
They did not have any Buffalo Trace. Did not have any Blantons.
Or Pappy.
No,
Well,
Pappy.
they had Pappy, but it was behind a locked gate.
Oh, well, not that they were
Remember
giving
that?
out samples.
Oh, yeah, no.
And they also had the white dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that is something else
The
there.
white dog.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
So I'm going to have you guys take a taste of this. And then what we'll do is, I'll talk a little bit about the nose, the taste, and what comes after that, right? So it's funny. This is one that I actually liked more than I thought I would. I originally had it as part of an old fashioned when I was out visiting my daughter in Raleigh, North Carolina. And my lovely wife, who you guys all know, actually brought a bottle home one time for me. So it's described as fairly complex. I wasn't necessarily getting the complexity of it in that sense, but strong kind of toffee herbs. The taste is fairly dry, but it has a heavy cocoa taste to it. Some almonds in there as well, with a little bit of honey. And then the finish also is fairly dry. So unfortunately on this one, typical of Buffalo Trace, there is no mash bill. So I can't tell you, what the percentages are relative to corn, to barley, etc. But or not barley, but the rye. So I think, but again, I think this one was actually a lot smoother than I was originally anticipating. But thought it was pretty good. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I definitely picking up on the honey, but not crazy sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not too sweet. And when you said almond, I was definitely getting some of. I think almond helped me to narrow down what nutty flavor I was getting, and I'm with you, David. I'm getting a little bit of honey too.
Yeah.
I'm getting nothing on the nose.
No,
I mean, it's really
Super faint.
Yeah, faint if at all.
What was the proof?
90.
90 proof. Yeah, so
Original
no.
was 101, but it's 90 proof today.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I get kind of a woody taste on the
On the first or second? Or in the finish?
More on the second try.
Okay.
Finish, really short.
Yeah.
I like more of a long finish. So, but this is a short finish. So.
Kind of like Kurt.
Jeez.
Wow.
You didn't even see that coming.
I didn't.
No.
I never do. It's
yeah.
okay, though. It comes back around. It's like a
Yeah,
boomerang.
yeah.
That's right.
There's something about the short finish. I'm taking mine with One Rock, and I think the shortness and the faintness, the shortness of the finish, the faintness of the nose, the almond honey, almost makes it refreshing. And I don't think I've ever had a refreshing bourbon, but this one, it actually it feels really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people think that bourbon's a cool weather drink. I would agree in this case. This would
Yep.
be perfect if you're summer drinking. This would definitely fall into that lighter.
Laying in your pool.
Yeah, laying in your pool.
That's a good place to be.
No, your pool.
Oh, my pool?
Yeah.
Come on over.
Did any of you guys pick up on the cocoa? I didn't get that at all.
I did
No.
not.
Well, that would be sweetness, Dave. You never pick up on that.
No, you're right.
I love it.
It's smooth, though. I think it's a
Yeah.
fair.
It is.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pretty smooth bourbon.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was expecting something to be a little bit more bold, but not terribly bold.
So, question for you on the smell
Mhm.
to the nose, Elton.
Mm-hmm.
So they do describe leather as part of the nose. So do you pick up on anything like that?
I really didn't pick up on anything, and it's almost feel like if it had been, halfway through the drink when the ice would have had a chance to melt, I would thought
Yeah.
maybe it would water down.
Mm.
But no, I'm just not picking up anything.
All right, you need to get your smeller tasted
I
too.
probably did.
Or
I don't
smeller
know.
fixed
Yeah,
or
just I'm
something.
I'm with you. I'm not
Checked
getting
out.
a whole lot there.
Yeah, not a whole lot there.
All right.
Nope.
It is smooth drink, short finish. So
Yeah.
It's
a
not
good
like,
one.
It's not like the light beer of bourbon, is
maybe it is.
No.
Yeah, that's right. There's 96 calories or less.
Something like that. So not super easy to get. I mean, you don't always find it.
No, it's well, say that. I did see it this afternoon, but that's the first time I've seen it at our
Yeah.
local ABC store.
2 points.
Period.
The name is Eagle Rare. And Dave, you spend a lot of time at ABC stores.
Noted.
Let's just say that I go.
Sarah, are you listening?
Yeah, I go to the ABC store every
Yeah.
time we record an episode for the most part.
Oh,
So,
I thought it was I have to
It's a
work
great
late
hobby.
today.
yeah. You're picking up on some pretty.
I'm astute.
Yes.
That's right. So that's Eagle Rare.
Okay,
Yeah, I think
Very
it's pretty
cool.
good.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a trip into another national park. Let's open up the Yellowstone.
Oh, yeah. So I seem to have a propensity to go for bottles that look like something you'd see on a cowboy movie set.
Absolutely.
Mm.
This one is it.
Yes, I do tend to talk a little bit about the ABC store. And,
Not because this is a governmental
No, I mean,
advertisement, but
well, we've all talked about this. I mean, the hunt, right? Trying to find something that's new and different. And so I definitely, with this one, found myself staring at the same shelf at the local ABC store, seeing the same bottles. And so I decided, well, let's just do something different. So I saw this bottle, and it just, again, looked like it came out of a cowboy movie, similar to like a Basil Hayden or something like that.
It
But,
totally does.
yeah.
yeah, really cool label with like gold embossing, and looks like kind of the frontier, right? So went ahead and gave it a shot. Not expensive, less than $40.
Okay.
The interesting thing for me, tried it and really took about to sip 4 before I really realized that I kind of like this.
Did you have to go back to the store then?
No.
Okay, just checking.
No, the sips weren't that big. The sips weren't that big, but a little bit of history on this one. So first started in 1872, and it was a commemorative batch, if you will, in honor of our first national park, Yellowstone.
Really?
Yep.
that's
So the name of the distillery was also named after the park, so Yellowstone Distillery at that point, and it was really run by a gentleman by the name of J.D. Dant. That distillery was sold, like we've talked about many times, handed over a couple different times, and eventually disappeared. And so fast forward to 2010, 2 gentlemen by the name of Stephen and Paul Beam, a small bourbon family.
Those
The
damn
Beams
beams
family.
keep popping up.
Yep. So they really decided that they wanted to get their family back in the business. And you think about, the mom side, I think, were Dance, and dad's side was Beam, and so they had all that going for them. A little bit of distilling activity in their DNA. So Stephen actually apprenticed and really wanted to go out there. Obviously he had it in his heart and his head, and really needed to kind of learn the hand side of it. And so he got into it, and they started the company back.
That's cool.
Yeah, really pretty cool. Got in there and kind of learned the craft. And with new companies like that, they obviously can't just start a company and the next day, offer up a new bourbon. They've got to wait 6, 8, 12 years in order for their batch to be ready. So in the meantime, we talk about blended whiskeys. Distillers like that will go and they'll take 3 or 4 different whiskeys and blend them together until they get a taste that they really like, and then they'll put that out as their blended batch. And so that's what Yellowstone is until they get their own version distilled and aged and out there. So I like the heritage behind it. I like the fact that it's two brothers that have got like massive kind of legacy ties to the bourbon world, and that they're bringing it back. That really kind of appealed to me as I was going through it.
That's pretty cool.
The other thing, as marketers, all four of us, you think about things like promotions and positioning and all that stuff, and so they're definitely leaning into their heritage, which is kind of cool from a branding and a positioning perspective. And then this summer, they actually ran a promo as part of the 100th anniversary. And for every bottle they sell of Yellowstone, they're giving money back to national parks, which I thought was kind of cool, too.
That is cool.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
I mean, it's, I feel super fortunate to have been to as many of the parks as I have. And, there are certainly lots of people out there that have not. And so I think these funds were part of trying to get, youngsters from larger cities that maybe don't have the means or the ability to get out there and see what our country truly is about from a natural perspective. And that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
So,
great.
so
cause.
let's get down to the look,
Yeah.
taste, and smell of this sucker. Chestnut, so not terribly dark, not amber, but definitely kind of a lighter chestnut brown. The nose.
Smoky.
Cherries.
Smells smoky to
Yeah, a
me.
little smoky. And then Derek, your favorite,
Oh, tell me it's brown sugar.
brown sugar, baby.
Love it.
Yeah,
Listen, there's just brown sugar in every
I
bourbon.
know.
is.
I know.
Big
Well, it's
Stones fan.
definitely Derek's nose has got a favoring for brown sugar.
He's a sweet guy, man.
well,
You're
there
a
you
neat
go.
guy. He's a sweet guy.
Stop it, Kurt. All right. Rye spice. That's the other thing you smell a lot of
Okay.
too. It's got a little bit of a spicy flavor there. So, you guys take a sip. Tell me what you think.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah.
sounds good. I'm
like
I'm
it.
surprised because the week before you had snuck this one and you seemed to bring in the leading bottle for the next week.
Yeah. I
And-
might have a problem.
That's okay. You're just efficient at the ABC store.
The ABC store is still there.
Yeah.
But when you brought this in, you were kind of talking about it in
It's
a
a
way where
crat
I was
special.
I was expecting it to be
Meh.
just junk.
Yeah. Well, again, it took me
But-
3 or 4 sips.
Yeah,
And I think when
I'm on my third now, and I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I'm really surprised.
The start is really spicy.
yeah.
It takes
Yep.
a couple to get.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
You have to be committed
Yep.
to getting past the first few, and then it starts to
Yeah.
settle in.
It's
Okay.
not bad.
No.
Especially after the Eagle Rare, because the Eagle Rare is so smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
I think Kurt really nailed it, though. I mean, the smoky is there's smoke, a lot of smoke in this,
Yeah.
and if you like that, and I think you take that and you pair it with the cherries and the caramel,
Yeah.
it's a good flavor.
It is, actually.
So 93 proof.
Okay. So it's got a
it's
high
got some
evap.
it's
Yep.
got it's
Yep.
got some kick to it, but not
Yep.
too much. And then as far as the finish goes, it's not crazy long, but definitely kind of that oaky, butterscotchy kind of
Yeah.
feel to it when you end off with.
I definitely got the brown sugar, and on my
Of course you did.
my third
sugar.
my third or fourth, I'm actually tasting pine.
Spoonful of sugar.
Oh,
Like I got kind of a pine
You got
taste to
pine?
it, but not like
See-
a pine cleaner, but just like
Right.
I don't know.
This
if
is-
it's just
this is
talking
the-
about
this
the
is-
outdoors.
Are you
or
looking at the label while you're
Yeah,
reading?
I was
it?
gonna say.
Like, oh my god!
very
that's
suggested.
the
I smell moose.
Smell moose.
that's the creative director in him
I
right
love
there.
I love
That's right.
it.
Close your eyes, everybody, and
Yes.
just imagine.
You're walking
That's
through
right.
it. But when you
Theater of the mind.
when you
Soft
talked
pine
about
under your feet.
you talked about you have a penchant for picking out bottles that look like they're props in a cowboy movie.
Yeah, it's weird.
This one definitely looks like when you finish it, you want to toss it in the air and shoot it.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah,
So maybe I'm also smelling like gun smoke.
could
Maybe.
Could
Could
be
be.
a gun smoke campfire finish.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Love
But-
Gunsmoke.
Yeah, but again, I think folks, that's one that if you see it on your local shelf, it's definitely worth the pull. Less, like I said, less than $40.
Yeah.
Pretty cool tie-in with bourbon tradition and legacy.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I'll be really curious to see once they get to a place where they're actually putting their own stuff out there that's not a blend. Pretty exciting.
Yeah,
That's
and I
good
wonder how
stuff.
many bourbons. What did you say? Early 1970s when it kind of
Yeah, it was 1872.
1870.
Yeah.
I said 1872.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool.
Some long roots.
Yeah,
For
cool. They
sure.
brought it back.
Absolutely.
I think it'd be cool to do a whole national park collection of bourbons.
Oh, I like that idea.
Like
Oh.
the Smoky Mountains have like that smoky charred taste,
That's good.
right?
That's a great call.
Yeah, let's take that
The
offline.
Pine Barrens have
Yeah.
pine.
Are you just giving the idea away?
Oh, sorry.
Kurt.
Yeah,
Maybe a
Yes, I'm not-
glacier flavored Kurt.
I'm not going to get to retire after all.
Could be distilled in glacier water. Yeah.
we'll still be 85 and talking on our podcast that nobody's listening to.
I love it. I love
We
it.
won't even turn the mics on anymore.
Just talk to ourselves. Yeah.
All right.
So, just a recap: we got the Eagle Rare,
Yeah.
and we've got Yellowstone, and now we're gonna sample Longbranch.
Mhm.
So,
Sounds like a Western movie in
It
itself.
does sound like a
It
Western
does.
movie.
you know, and the interesting thing is Longbranch is a wild turkey brand. So the wild turkey label is on the neck of the bottle.
So we're back to the Russells again.
And the
Yes.
kicking chicken.
And the
Right.
kicking chicken.
That was a whiskey chicken.
Whatever you want it to be.
Whiskey chicken.
Whatever you want it to be.
I want that on a T-shirt.
There you
I'm
go.
on it.
Bourbon Boys, whiskey chicken.
There you go, whiskey
Yeah.
chicken. Kicking chicken.
Still
I like
selling
that,
more in the
actually. That'd be
Etsy
great
store.
on a T-shirt. All right, go ahead,
All
Derek.
right, so this is a Longbranch is a wild turkey sub brand, and this is a collab with Matthew McConaughey.
Mm.
All right, and Eddie Russell. So we talked about Eddie a couple episodes ago.
Is it Eddie or Jimmy?
This one was Eddie.
Okay.
Yeah. Could be the
Brother.
is Eddie the
Father.
son of the father to the
Mother.
I don't know.
No, not
It
the
was
mother.
not his mother that I know.
Eddie is the son of Jimmy.
So Eddie is the son of Jimmy. Okay, so this was Eddie.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Matthew McConaughey was a longtime fan of bourbon
And bongos.
and bongos and weed and
nakedness.
playing bongos naked.
Yeah.
So I'm sure Longbranch or Wild Turkey looked into that in the past. But he was approached by Wild Turkey, many glasses in, to work on something together. And the name Longbranch goes to extending a branch to a stranger to bring them into your family. So it's a gesture.
That's how I feel about all you guys.
Thanks, man.
Oh dear God.
And the idea was that Matthew McConaughey became the creative director for Wild Turkey. Spent a lot of time with the Russell family, with the Wild Turkey brand, and they came up with this, flavor profile, which is traditionally distilled in oak barrels, and then it's filtered through oak and mesquite. So the mesquite comes from Texas.
Yeah,
Matthew
there's the
McConaughey's from
connection, yeah.
Texas. Matthew McConaughey is a longhorn. So you get the long and you get the branch and you get the long branch connection there.
Mesquite.
And the fact that he's
Mesquite.
famous doesn't hurt.
It doesn't hurt at all. But, and I remember seeing something in Adweek when it came out, and I thought it was interesting that a celebrity was kind of taking some time away from, or in addition to maybe, his acting career to become a creative director and influence brands.
Hmm.
So you'll see on the label, his name and Eddie are on there.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's an interesting thing. It didn't get a whole lot of press. It was something in the beginning, but not a ton, since then. And this came out back in April 2018. So they're using existing, it says it's an 8-year bourbon. So they're using existing bourbon that's coming from Wild Turkey. But then that filtration is through mesquite. So it gets that Texas flair, and it's a little bit of an interesting story. It seems like it's a good connection between his personality, the Wild Turkey brand. So it's interesting. I didn't go in looking for Matthew McConaughey bourbon, but when I grabbed it and then looked at the backstory of it, I thought that was interesting. And it reminded me that there was a backstory there that came out, and I saw it and forgot about it.
Okay.
But
Well,
let me know what you guys think about it. When on the nose, what I'm getting to start is a butterscotch, and again, my brown sugar.
of course.
So
It's a bunch of
I'm getting
BS.
that. I have two different tastes. So my first taste, and we all know we've talked about this in the past. It takes like 3 tastes to get in. The first one kind of stuns you and numbs you. Second one starts to settle in. By the third one, you are well on your way to appreciating the flavor profile of this particular bourbon. They've released the mash bill. It's 75% corn, so we expect that to be on the sweeter side.
Sweet.
Yep. 13% rye, 12% malted barley. So it's a little bit higher on the malted barley that we've seen in the past and lower on the rye. So just by math, you would think that that would just be a smoother, less spicy bourbon. My first taste, I'm getting kind of a sweet and cinnamon flavor. But by the second, it moves to like a spicy vanilla. So it's like a little bit of vanilla with a bite. And because it's an 86 proof, the finish is really smooth. It's a long finish. And surprisingly, for an 86, it's got that chest warmer feel to it.
Which is surprising for an 86.
Yeah.
Right. I expect that to be in the 90s.
Right.
I'm tasting a little char, so maybe that's a little bit of the lingering of that warmth. Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not really getting the mesquite.
No.
Yeah, the mesquite's missing for me as well.
Yeah, I wanted to be there.
Yeah,
I'm getting a lot of like honey is for me. Maybe that's more
Okay.
brown sugar. But yeah, I'm not getting the mesquite, but I wanted it to be there.
Right. I mean, they made it part of the story. They
Yeah.
made that effort to filter it.
Yeah, make it different. Yeah.
I got to think that's a fine line, right? I mean, if you go over that line and taste too much mesquite, then it's just probably ruined.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
I don't
that's
know.
true, but give me a little.
But yeah, something. And maybe the char and the smoky is supposed to be that, and I do get a little bit of that.
yeah,
but
it's
not
not strong enough though.
not what I would have expected.
Yeah.
Having heard
It's a
the
short
story, so-
finish. It
You're
goes
getting-
away
yeah.
quick.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'd like for it to, especially if there was a mesquite, I'd like for it to linger a
Linger,
little more.
right.
Yeah. But nope.
Which is a little bit of an oxymoron to Longbranch.
Long branch, short
Long
finish.
branch, short finish.
We
I don't think
I've
that.
Another T-shirt.
I've heard
We're
that
not
one
gonna put that
before.
on a shirt. That's
So, are we talking about we talking about Kurt again?
Oh, I love it.
Sorry, Kurt.
I'm.
That'd
Love
be,
you,
a great,
buddy.
that'd be a great T-shirt. What are you talking about?
I'm not explaining that one at the bar, so I won't be wearing that one.
Yeah, there'll be no pictures of that one.
Two guys walk into a bar.
So overall,
Yes.
like again, missing the mesquite thing, but overall,
Yep.
what do you think?
I like it. I like it. If I didn't, here's the thing: if I didn't know that there was mesquite in there,
You would never.
I would not expect it.
No.
And I don't miss it.
Right. Yep.
But because the promise of a mesquite finish and the idea of bringing Texas and Kentucky together,
Maybe
I
missed
need
the mark a little bit.
more. I need a little bit more Texas. In
Yeah, I
there.
think it's a little disappointing actually.
Yeah, from the shelf presentation, the bottle's cool. The label's pretty simple and straightforward. I like the look of it. I can see why I would pick it up.
Yep.
And then knowing the story behind it, it's like, okay, this is cool.
Yep.
But it kind of disappoints on the back end from there.
I think for me, just going back to the Russell Reserve and just knowing that story and the quality of the product that those
Right.
guys put out,
Oh right.
I think that's the miss for me. So
I think it still has a high quality. For $40 a bottle, I think that it's a good bourbon. But if I did, if I'm now that I know the story behind it, I
Yeah.
expect more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Interesting flavor to
expectation.
it.
It doesn't mean
Yeah.
it is a good bourbon for $40. That's a good
Right.
point.
Yeah.
Right.
But clarifying against the story and the expectations that builds,
Yeah.
it's not quite there.
Yep.
but would you put it up against a Russell Reserve?
I would go to the Russell Reserve.
Okay.
Side by side. I think that Russell Reserve was
That was really
good.
good, yeah.
It was really good.
Good answer.
It is interesting when you
That was
see.
yours, right? Okay, good.
No, that's not why, but just good
Okay.
answer.
Yeah.
It is interesting to see some of the larger distilleries like Jim Beam and Wild Turkey doing something different, right? And
Yeah.
trying to differentiate. And you wonder if that's to go against some of the small batch craft distillers.
Yeah, it's good call.
It is.
So-
Here's my thing though. So here's a question for you guys. What's your take on this whole like movie star / bourbon / like I'm more like an anti that kind of thing. So to me, I just think it's like putting a name on something.
Yeah, I agree. For the most part, the one kind of hall pass here, or the one thing that they did that I can get my heads around, is Matthew McConaughey.
You have
and
more
his
than
brand.
one?
Oh, more than one, absolutely. But Matthew McConaughey is, his brand is Texas.
The casting's right.
And they went and they were consistent to that, and they claimed they pulled it through with the mesquite. So I'll give them that. So it's not too over the top. I'm not a big fan of it though. To your point,
Yeah.
celebrity endorsements don't
Yeah.
usually drive anything.
But Matthew McConaughey versus Tom Hanks all day long, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. This
yeah.
this fits with the story and the picture they painted. They just didn't deliver on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Good call.
Okay. Fair call.
Cool.
And I think with mesquite, it's a pretty pronounced flavor to begin with. So if it was too much, you'd be like, this tastes like a marinade.
Yeah, it didn't taste like
You know?
ribs.
Yeah, exactly. Right,
Yep.
right. So
It's like Parmesan cheese.
and having tasted other wild turkey flavor profiles, I think that they were smart not to go too far with it.
Yeah.
But at the
Yeah,
same
but
time,
again,
you just didn't-
my push is if you're going to claim it, then own it. And
Yeah.
I don't feel like they
Yeah,
own it
that's
on
fair.
this one.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
Yeah,
no
should've went
hashtag
further.
mesquite.
Hashtag no mesquite.
No mesquite. All right.
So
All right. So, I mean, thinking back to, we started at the top of the show talking about national parks.
Yeah.
And as we've just, sampled some three really good bourbon flavors here tonight, I'm actually struggling a little bit as a dad.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
That
thinking.
kind of hurts. That hurts a little bit.
talk to us, Derek.
Yeah. No, I'm just thinking about, the national parks and the opportunity that's out there.
Yeah.
The number of national parks and the beauty and the dedication to them, the reservation of space. As I look at my kids in the age range, I regret that we didn't do enough exploring of our national parks when they were at that age where we could do it. Now, it's not to say we can't do it now, but I know my parents have been to national parks. My in-laws have been to national parks. My kids have seen a national park, but I feel like that's a miss. And as I'm in between jobs now and have the summer off, time was available.
Yeah.
Schedules are kind of crazy for everyone else, but I think what I used as an excuse, and I look back and I regret that I didn't do that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, being intentional is tough, though.
Yeah, it is.
Especially with all the chaos of kids and back to school and prepping for back to school and college and job hunting and all that stuff. So
Well, and it's not too late though. I mean,
That's
to
right.
that point,
No, because you just did one.
We did. We just did Acadia. So we had been to obviously the Great Smoky Mountains, not too far away. So we'd been there before as a family. But my parents had Acadia, a Maine visit on their bucket list, and they're not getting any younger. So my wife and I are like, hey, if you guys want to go, we'd love to join you. So they drove up, and then the family flew up. So Cameron and Sam came with us. They had no idea what they were getting into. Most of our vacations are, beaches, Florida, Carolina coast, Bahamas,
Hawaii.
Caribbean, whatever, Hawaii once in a while. So
once in a while.
Once in a while.
yeah.
I come back as your kid.
Once
Yeah,
in
right.
a
No
long
kidding.
while.
Right, exactly. I just want to be your kid.
Yeah. So once in a long. Hey, we've always over-invested in vacations. That was the one thing that we said all along, that in those periods we will be together as a family. We'll make memories. So we did overspend in that area, but
It's good.
yeah,
though.
the Acadia trip this summer was a blast. Like I said, we did it because my parents really wanted to get up there. The kids, I got a sophomore in college and a high school senior. They had no idea what to expect. They were good sports. So we got up there, started tooling around small towns, coastline, beautiful country. And about the second or third day, Sam, my high school senior, came to us and he's like, you know what? This has turned out to be a pretty cool trip. He's like,
That's
I thought when you
awesome.
said we're going to Maine, it was a little sketch. but this is pretty cool. So
That's awesome.
it's
That's
not
fantastic.
too late, even at this point in their life.
Okay.
Derek.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So, Alton, you mentioned bucket lists that your parents had.
Yep.
For my 50th birthday, Sarah gave me a relatively rundown 1977 Volkswagen camper.
Okay,
Nice.
back up.
Yeah.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
What?
Relatively rundown.
Relatively rundown. Yeah. I mean,
Let's define that.
it doesn't have an engine or a transmission.
Are you talking about Derek?
Come on.
Or David?
To
or
me,
the
that's
car?
dramatically
Hey.
run down.
So, so dramatically rundown. But my bucket list, if you think about national parks and adventure and exploring, is to get that sucker restored and roadworthy. My wife is, as you guys know, a big photographer.
Oh,
and at some point, the two of us are going to hop in that thing, and we're gonna turn left and go out west and
That is awesome.
explore.
Yeah, will be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love
So,
that idea.
Make sure you're not
Super.
heading south. You'll end up on the coast really fast.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
Make sure it's the right left.
Sure.
It's the right left, yeah. So, so that's my big adventure that's on the horizons. One
That's
day,
cool.
just the two of us, we're just going to go out there and drive until we find something really cool we want to dig into, and we'll dig into that, and then go on to the next thing.
That's
So,
cool.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
a great goal.
That is
It should be cool.
That was a great goal.
very cool.
What about you, Kurt?
What about me?
National
Didn't-
parks and family?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's for me. I don't know. I think about the contrast between, let's say, going into a trade and going to college. I think I've always been in this mindset of we can do that later, but let's go on the bigger trips. Right?
Okay.
Let's go to Europe. Let's go to other continents, and because now's the time we can do it. And yeah, there's probably a small regret to that, and I think that we forget how beautiful this country is that we live in. So
Yeah, I agree with that.
Really is.
yeah, I think we devalue that a little bit compared to maybe some of the other things. But I'm also not going to Hawaii all the time. So,
Well, not much of Alton's family.
You should.
exactly. If we were all the Eltons of the
Highly
world.
recommends it.
Not a lot of bourbon over there, though.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I think it's definitely something I want to do. My wife has a huge interest in going to national parks, so I definitely can see us not necessarily in a VW bus, but maybe pulling a camper some point.
Little airstream.
Yeah, you could
A little Airstream.
Hey, you
yeah,
could
it's got to be a
Very
bougie.
nice.
It's got to be a bougie camper.
You can always fly out west and rent an RV and drive around.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think that's the
true.
plan.
No,
That's
that's true. I mean, that is true. I mean, there is something I think kind of cool about just driving the countryside.
Yeah.
And we always think it's really cool until it's getting closer, and then we're like, I think we'll fly.
That's a lot of seat time.
It's a lot of seat time, yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think some of those situations though are like literally wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning and you got a wild hair and you just let's go.
Yeah.
You can't do too much
Yeah.
planning or you'll talk yourself out.
No,
you
that's
just got to
true.
jump in.
Nope,
and
I
go.
totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree. I really agree with you, but I agree with you on that.
Well, that's because I'm always right, Kurt.
Derek? All right. You're going to get home tonight. Deb, let's plan a trip.
Yeah, I know. I think
Where are you going?
we're pretty good and spontaneous at planning these big, international trips, but we've got to stay domestically.
Likewise, right?
Yeah.
And I think you're right. You brought up a good point. Like, I think we keep pushing it off to that'll be something when we do when we retire. We have time.
Yeah.
So I think that there's this time association with it takes so much time.
Windows. You got to
But
go, man.
I know I think you're right. I think as we start talking about having that physical activity and the ability to go and do and get
Yeah.
into it as much as you want. When I've been following the national park system on Instagram, and they're definitely reaching a smaller, younger, not smaller, a younger audience.
Yeah.
Their voice, their copywriter is just absolutely on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Making it fun, making it relevant, kind of pointing out to the followers the things that you may not know about the national parks in a real fun, exploratory way. And I think that's it. I think we've got to think of ourselves as doing it before we're tired,
Yeah.
Yeah.
doing it while we're younger, have energy.
Yeah.
And
Agreed.
then figure out how to do it with the family as an open invitation or as hey, every year on this date we're going to go. If anyone wants to join us, we love to have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
Love it.
Yep.
Perfect.
Cool.
Well,
Last
this
call.
time of the show is
Oh.
last call, and
It's Mad Libs again.
yeah,
Mad
Elton,
Libs.
Elton had a
Ad libs.
Listen,
little.
girl,
right.
fill in the blank. Let's see
Elton
what
had-
happens.
is kicking off a new format, our Mad Lib format, because Mad Libs they're great road trip.
There you go.
know,
They are,
time
actually, yeah.
fillers.
That's right.
So in
Yeah.
keeping with the national park road trip, bourbon trail, what do we got?
All right, here is the last call, Mad Lib. You are at a bar in Glacier National Park.
Okay.
Michael Jordan is there.
Oh.
You're familiar with Michael Jordan? Played basketball?
Big tall guy.
Yeah.
I'll run with it.
All right, just
Yeah.
pretend.
Skate to where the puck's going.
Michael Jordan's there, and you spilled ketchup on his vest,
Ooh.
which I can
Nice.
totally see him wearing a vest.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, to make it up to him, you're buying him a round.
Okay.
The round has to be bourbon,
Mm.
and you want to make a good impression. So your choice is Last call.
Is
Who
it,
wants it?
Is it Eagle Rare? Is it Yellowstone? Or is it Longbranch?
Dude, it's Yellowstone all day long.
Really? What do you
Yeah,
got?
look, we got to stick with the theme here. I mean, you're
All
at
right.
Glacier.
You're there,
hanging out with Michael Jackson.
MJ,
Michael, not
Jordan.
Jackson, Jordan.
That would be a whole different
Yeah,
story.
it's a whole different story there. Yeah, no, I think it's Yellowstone. I do.
Yeah.
Just, again, lots of heritage, legacy.
Yo,
It's
MJ, here you go.
That's right.
Plus, we got the whole North Carolina thing. He's going to love us anyway, right?
Yeah, regardless of what
Sure.
bourbon.
Regardless, yeah.
Yeah.
He knows all about Guilford College.
Does he?
I'm sure he does. I'm sure
No,
he's
the
driven
only
past it.
hey, trust me, the only guy that knows about Guilford College and plays basketball is World Be Free because he in fact went there, and so did Dave Odom, by the way.
So did my neighbor across
Yeah.
the street.
There you go.
Does he play basketball?
He played football for him.
We don't
Different
care.
sport.
We don't care. You might if you met my neighbor.
Nice.
I just want to know how he got on the Fighting Quakers. I mean, that's awesome.
Actually, I never see you wearing a Fighting Quakers T-shirt.
Yeah, probably because it's bad for the environment or something like that. I don't know.
All right.
He's not a
Fantastic.
fighter.
Yellowstone. Derek, Michael
right.
Jordan needs a drink. What does he got?
I'm going to give him a Longbranch.
Ooh.
Yep.
All right.
I think Michael Jordan would be a great addition to our family.
Yep.
So, in the keeping with bringing someone into the family with a Longbranch, I'm going to go with that. I think it's
good.
I don't know if I'd bring up the Mesquite or the Matthew McConaughey. I think we're just going to drink it and
see
talk
what
about-
happens.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right.
What are you gonna do about his vest? Like seltzer water? I mean, I know you're a vest fan yourself, so you got to be like hurting.
I think
over that
I think
one.
we're going to take it fly fishing. I'm going to have him wear
That's
that
good.
wear that
All right.
vest. Now that we're best buds.
Yeah.
We're gonna
good.
go
I
fly
thought Derek
fishing.
would say, "Here, take mine. I'll take yours."
There you go.
That's right.
Yeah,
You need,
probably.
help, you need help with that bow tie?
Yeah, that's right.
Kurt?
I'm gonna go with Eagle Rare, just because one, I love the Eagle Rare, but two, I think the eagle is so symbolic of what our national parks are all about. So,
Also represents Michael flying for a
Flying,
slam dunk
yeah.
from
Well,
the
that's true, too.
foul line.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't see
Yeah.
that one.
so
Yeah.
Maybe I should have picked that one.
yeah.
Damn
Well, you
it.
didn't. So,
I'm going with Yellowstone.
Attaboy.
Something just. It's Michael freaking Jordan.
Again,
so
you
I
agree
got
with
one.
David.
I know exactly.
Seriously,
yeah.
what the
I didn't
deal?
realize it happened that often either. Quite honestly, I'm starting to question
think
myself.
I'm starting to think you're a couple.
Hey,
I
it's
was thinking groupie, but
us,
let's
us,
start there first.
us Carolina boys got to stick
That's
together.
right,
man.
North and south, man.
Something like that.
Well, this is the spicy flavor of Yellowstone is going to get a reaction. The other two, good, and I like your stories behind it, but too smooth. It's like I want a reaction out of this guy. I want some kind of. I'm willing to risk it for some connection because who doesn't want to be buzzed with Michael Jordan?
I
Yeah,
know, but
it's
he's
gonna
a
work.
smooth kind of guy.
Yeah, but I'm not.
There you go.
It's not about you.
It's always about me.
That's right. Al
Oh, that's why you know David so well.
Yeah,
That's right. There you go.
Well, this
All
is
right, guys.
awesome. Great stories. Love hearing about the places we've been. How we've been there with the ones we love. We've tasted some really good bourbon tonight.
Yeah.
No slouches on the table.
No.
And really, talked about the flavor profiles in a pretty decent amount of detail. So, gentlemen, thank you again. Another great night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on.
Bourbon on.